Another week, another round of highlights and campus stories.
This is the UON Weekly,
where we bring you the latest happenings, updates,
and stories that matter here at the University of Nairobi.
Urongo Newton is my name.
And I am Ruby Mutegi. Here are the highlights.
Kenya marks the World Antimicrobial Resistance Awareness Week.
The Geographical Information System Week at the University of Nairobi kicks off.
The Quantity Surveying Students Conference 2024.
In observation of the World Anti-Microbial Awareness Week, which runs annually from the 18th to the 24th of November, the University of Nairobi, in collaboration with the Government of Kenya, among other partners, launched a week-long event to address the critical issue of antimicrobial resistance.
Antimicrobial Resistance Week is a global campaign by the World Health Organization that promotes health practices to combat AMR. This year's theme highlights the importance of education, advocacy, and concrete actions to combat this pressing health crisis. Cindy Sarah tells us more.
Antimicrobial resistance, AMR, is a pressing global health and socio-economic crisis that has had significant impact on human and animal health, food production, and the environment. The launch of the AMR Awareness Week, commemorated annually from the 18th to the 24th November, highlighted this year's theme that calls the global community to educate stakeholders on AMR, advocate for bold commitments, and take concrete actions in response to AMR.
When you talk about antimicrobial resistance, it means that these organisms are now resistant to the drugs that we use to treat them. And I think that's what we're going to listen to today so that we improve our understanding of how does this develop.
The Government of Kenya, through its state departments of health, environment, agriculture and livestock, mining and blue economy, and the University of Nairobi, has joined the global community that aims to educate the public about the effects of AMR, its prevention and control.
So antimicrobial resistance is a problem because we stand at the risk of losing all the gains that we have already made in terms of modern healthcare. We run the risk of having infections that are not treatable, having healthcare costs that are spiraling, and even increased rates of mortality across the population.
The panelists in a press briefing attributed the root cause of the AMR silent pandemic to negligence in hospitals and unprofessional prescriptions that has increased improper handling of antibiotics, antivirals, antifungal and antiparasitics.
So if you're sick and you keep going to a pharmacy to pick antibiotics, if you're sick and you take antibiotics that have been left over, if you don't finish your doses of antibiotics, then you're placing yourself at risk of having bacteria that are resistant to antibiotics.
By 2050, AMR is projected to play a role in 8.22 million AMR-associated deaths, an increase of 75% from 4.71 million deaths in 2021.
Right now, as you can see, I'm a person living with permanent disability thanks to AMR. And this was because after I got a hospital-acquired infection, then, and this was multi-drug resistant. It was very difficult to treat it. And when I eventually managed to treat it, it's unlikely that I want to go back to that surgery.
What can be done to tame this silent pandemic that is jeopardizing the government's efforts in providing a universal health care?
We must use antibiotics properly. For human health, for human beings, let us stop picking antibiotics over the counter and just taking without having a proper diagnosis and knowing that we truly require the antibiotics.
We need to observe high levels of cleanliness at the farm level and also ensure that our animals are properly fed.
The Awareness Week provides a window of opportunity for political, social, and financial commitments to increase accountability in response to AMR. Reporting for UNCTV, Sarah Cindy.
Still on the World Antimicrobial Resistance Awareness Week, the Government of Kenya's multi-sectoral committee, comprising of major stakeholders in the health sector, unveiled the National Action Plan.
The stakeholders' efforts in raising advocacy and awareness rolled out the plan to sensitize all citizens. The event was graced by the Senior Deputy Secretary in the Ministry of Agriculture and Livestock Development, Mr. Jude Wasonga,
who represented the Principal Secretary of Agriculture and Livestock Development, Honorable Jonathan Mweke. Ivan Tumpez has more on this story.
The Antimicrobial Awareness Week, held under the auspices of the World Health Organization with the theme Educate, Advocate and Act Now, aims to address critical global issues of the antimicrobial resistance that has been declared a silent pandemic unknown to many.
AMR is not just a scientific challenge, it is a very real and present danger to the health of individuals, communities, and ecosystems around the world.
Rooted in sectors as diverse as health, food safety, agriculture, environment, and trade, it impacts extends globally and nationally, with studies predicting that if unchecked, AMR could cause up to 10 million deaths annually and reduce the global GDP by 3% by 2050.
During the launch of the Awareness Week, Kenya's multi-sectoral committee, comprised of different ministries and stakeholders in the health docket, unveiled the National Action Plan on the efforts of advocacy and awareness campaigns around the country that will focus on sensitizing its population on matters AMR.
Kenya is also proactively promoting the FAO initiative known as RenoFarm, which is to reduce the need for antimicrobials on farms for sustainable agri-food systems and transformation. This was mentioned by Dr. Ramona, which was launched in April 2024.
In the coming days, we're going to open up our regional offices so that we can devolve the function of regulating the veterinary practice.
The fifth one is appropriate use of antimicrobials. Our focus is to optimize the use of antimicrobials in human, animals, and plant health. And the last one is research and development. This is to support sustainable investment and increase investment in new medicines, diagnostic tools, vaccines, and other alternatives.
The Senior Deputy Secretary in the Ministry of Livestock and Agriculture Development, Mr. Jude Wasonga, oversaw the launch of the National Action Plan, a portal and a mobile application that entails 13 important policy documents that will provide guidelines to the health caregivers and patients. Reporting for UNC TV, my name is Ivan Tumpez.
Thank you, Ivan, for that story. Moving forward, the University of Nairobi Geospatial Engineering Students Association organized the GIS Week on the 19th to the 21st of November 2024.
The event brought together geospatial engineering students, impacting them with skills required to shape the future by mapping their minds.
Advancement of technology in the field of geospatial engineering was also discussed in the event. Patience Jadida with more on the story.
Mapping, collecting, and analyzing geographical data requires reliance not only on tools but on the mind to design the tools. In order to find a simple, flexible, and powerful way to solve global issues, the Geospatial Engineering Students Association, University of Nairobi, organized the GIS Week 2024, where evolution of geographic information systems from human to artificial intelligence was discussed.
When an image is taken in from a satellite, before it reaches at the final stage of being a map, it takes days. So I'm imagining what if AI has the capability of enabling us process this data in minutes. We're taking an image right now, and in the next 2 minutes, you already have a processed image that is ready for use. That is how I see AI being used.
Safaricom geospatial data reveals how people move through cities by tracking their movement patterns. This can help in finding solutions and innovations in population mapping and building footprint mapping.
Geospatial technology, through mapping, we get to forecast the future. You see many maps are being made where we can forecast certain events in the future, like climate change, there's flooding.
Like our role is to identify the problems and to identify the places where the climate change is happening, and to the kind of climate is happening in that place now, so that the necessary official people can take their actions if they have the information.
As a way to perform cognitive tasks like collecting data which is too big, too variable, or too much to handle, the use of artificial intelligence opportunities available like MapGPT and Google can be employed.
Like analytics that are on top of our datasets, forest carbon datasets, because we believe it's impossible to leverage the kind of data that we produce. We're talking millions of square kilometers every single day. So, of course, technology works for us, and it's going to work for us even more as we go into the future.
It's one of those technologies that are booming in Kenya, but very few people know about it. They're influencing policies, they're informing decision-making and everything, but very few people know about it, and it's of great importance for us to know how exactly to be tackling issues from a spatial mindset.
There's more than just maps. Skills are also gained in the field of geospatial engineering, which are useful in understanding and navigating the world. Technological advancement of artificial intelligence tools in the field of geospatial engineering will indeed help in solving global issues like climate change and ecosystem degradation. Shaping the future and the world begins by mapping minds. Reporting for UNC-TV, I'm Patience Jedida.
Elsewhere, in a bid to enhance students' careers, the Institute of Quantity Surveyors of Kenya hosted an annual Quantity Surveying Students Conference at the University of Nairobi on the 13th of November 2024.
The conference opened a platform for industry players, experts and students to share insights in this field and the broader built environment. Our reporter Barasa Tiberius with more on this story.
The Institute of Quantity Surveyors of Kenya, IQSK, held an annual quantity surveying conference at the University of Nairobi. The convention, whose main theme was networking and professional development, aimed at enhancing the students' careers through networking and industry insights through building connections that shape their professional journeys.
We go to the universities or schools, sometimes even high schools. We just take an IQSK team and talk to them about career progression and QSing as a career, quantity surveying and the diversity it has, but also talk about other built environment professions.
The industry experts discussed the latest technological advancements shaping the quantity surveying industry and explored the power of networking and how it opens doors to various career prospects. By combining technical expertise with networking skills, the students got equipped to succeed in this dynamic field.
Ideally, when it comes to construction technology, we have new materials coming in, new systems. We're using AI, we're using robots, we're using drones. We're trying to make construction more efficient, safer, lesser waste, and so much more, all in line with sustainable development. So that disconnect, it needs to be addressed. And unfortunately, if we wait for institutions of higher learning to change their syllabi, our students or even the new QSs will be disadvantaged.
There is a gap between a person who is in need of a certain profession and the employer and the employee. And that gap can only be bridged by the people you know, because in the construction industry, people do not advertise for jobs.
The high point of the conference was creation of linkages between students and industry experts, where they got to broaden their perspectives, develop practical skills, and gain deeper understanding of the industry.
When they are hearing from us young quant surveyors who are already in practice, and maybe they have seen us go through the system, it is stick much better, and then they get to learn much better and much easier compared to when they hear from the elder professionals or lecturers who are not even probably part of the built environment.
In a nutshell, the students expressed their appreciation for the opportunity to learn from these industry experts, network with peers, and gain valuable insights for this conference. Reporting for UNC-TV, my name is Tiberius Barasa.
And now you're up to date with the UON Weekly by UNC-TV.
Follow us across all social media platforms, and remember to catch the next episode of the UON Weekly on YouTube.
My name is Ruby Mutegi.
And my name is Orongo Newton.
That was a nice one. What do you think about it?
Nice. Want to go for lunch?
Yeah.
we all have stories to tell. Tales of chasing big ideas, dreams, aspirations, and unmanifested ambitions, outweighed by the immediacy of success, fear of failure, and the greater need to make an impact. Is the easier way out to give up, to quit, or just fail? But the realization that it is not just about us repowers us. It's a breakthrough that once started as something small. It's a journey uncharted.
UNC TV, empowering you.